Marie's Memoir.
Hi guys, and welcome to Marie's Memoirs. Today I have a special guest with me who's going to be talking about alkaline veganism, and I've got some questions I would love answering. So I would like to introduce to you Andre. Hi Andre, how are you today?
All right, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm well.
Amazing. So I thank you first of all for being part of Marie's Memoirs. I've always been intrigued. I mean, with the whole vegan thing, I do say I think I'm doing quite well because I've gone from eating a lot of meat to mainly fish. So I do consider myself to be, mainly pescatarian, because if I have a choice, I'm going to pick fish over meat. And I've been doing that for a couple of years. And then I'm trying to move over to the vegetarian side of life and possibly the vegan, which, I mean, I think it's doable because, you've got you've got your supplements like corn and like soy products and stuff like that you could implement into your meals, and maybe using more chickpeas in like curries and whatnot. I know there's quite a few ways of how to kind of make it interesting, but what I want to do, so I'm trying to maneuver to veganism, but this conversation is definitely going to provide some insight for me and everybody else who's intrigued. So, how did you become a vegan, and mainly why?
All right, and 2015, I gave up meat. And then in August 2016, that's when I decided to go vegan. So I was a vegetarian in the beginning for like a couple of months. Then I went vegan 2016. But initially, my diet was a mess. Didn't eat veg, ate fruit maybe once a month.
Oh, wow.
People always said to me, your diet is crazy, like you eat crap. That's basically what I was eating. So.
Yeah.
I worked out a lot, so I may have looked all right, but in the insides, my body must have been in bits because I wasn't eating nothing good, loads of processed foods and stuff like that. So I think where the light bulb came on for me is I have a lot of families with like certain health conditions and stuff like that, and I thought, what can I do to avoid that happening for me in the future? I got a big thing for me is when I'm older, I want to try and be in the best healthy shape possible.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me try and clean up my diet, and I've kind of got like I think with me, once I do something, go hard with it, or go maybe extreme.
Like 100% going in.
Instead of just adding veg into my meals, I decided to cut it out. So I told myself for a year, I'll give up meat, and then people mention veganism and stuff like that. Try that. So I thought, let me try it for a year. I mean, after a year, I'll make up my mind whether I want to eat meat again or not. And then from that year, 5 years, and I haven't looked back.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Obviously, as time goes on, you learn more. You try different dishes.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy, I feel good, so I can't really complain. I think I made the right decision for me.
That's amazing, because my next kind of curiosity would have been like, what did you notice any kind of like physical change within yourself when you started going plant-based in comparison to when you was eating meat? Like some people talk, I know there's a bit of science behind it, but I know that certain people in their kind of testimonials of going plant-based from meat, they feel less tired. There's little things like they don't have fatigue anymore and such. Did you feel anything within yourself when you changed over to plant-based? Like
100%. Pros and cons. The pros were skin felt amazing. Like I've never had like bad skin, but I had somewhat like a glow. So energy levels felt great. Didn't feel as sluggish or bloated when I ate certain foods. So being bloated is not really a good thing anyway. So I just felt lighter, if that makes sense. I felt good in myself. I lost a little bit of weight. That wasn't the plan, but that's just down to when I transitioned. I never really thought about what I'm actually going to eat, what meals, the right balance of things I need to have.
Yeah.
That comes with time. With anything with anything you do, there's going to be certain steps what you might have missed or whatever. So apart from that, my weight's coming back now, and so apart from like not feeling sluggish, skin, energy, I kind of feel good in myself. But one thing what was important for me was to make sure I have the right balance of stuff. So every 6 months, I go for a health check, just to make sure I'm not lacking in any like deficiencies. Because a lot of people sometimes wait till something happens to them and they'll be like, oh, I got to try and change up. So my thing is to avoid that. So every 6 months I go for a health check.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm lacking is vitamin D, but that's due to obviously lack of sun and stuff like that. So that's
Tell me about it. Lack of sun.
That's the only vitamin I take is vitamin D. Everything else has been fine. Never been lacking in protein, no iron deficiency, no B12 deficiency, nothing like that. So I'm doing good.
That's decent, because when you mentioned that there was no kind of sluggish feeling after certain foods, I don't like steak, but I'll eat it if I go to a restaurant and that's like the only thing available.
Yeah.
If I'm really hungry and that's the only thing left. But then whenever I eat steak, for me, that's too heavy. And then after I've eaten it, I feel horrid. So I totally get what you're saying, where I can see how that change would be, because you definitely feel sluggish when you eat. I definitely feel sluggish after I eat meat. Whenever I eat it, it's less with fish, but then when it's just vegetables, there's nothing, or fruits, there's nothing. It's just nice and light, like you said. So no, I totally get that. So it might be a silly question. Well, it's not a silly question, but it's a very popular silly question. And basically, where do you get your protein from? Because I say this because I know that there are certain vegetables that have protein, but you'd probably have to eat a lot of those vegetables to get the same amount of protein that you would directly from, I don't know if eggs have protein, a lot of protein, or meat. Do you have to, like, how does that work in regards to balancing out the nutrition?
For me, anyway, sorry to cut you off. For me, I eat a lot anyway. So things like chickpea, I eat a lot of nuts, like walnuts, Brazil nuts, almond nuts. I make my own milk, so I use walnuts and almond nuts, sorry.
You make your own milk?
Yeah. Any nuts. Hazelnut milk, walnut milk, almond milk, Brazil nut milk.
Wait. So can we just go back into you make your own milk? So how do you make your own milk? Like you use like a plain soy milk and then you'll add?
No. Walnuts. Soak them overnight. When you soak them overnight, you drain them so then they're nice and soft. So you pour the walnuts into the blender. Get like spring water, like 2 measuring cups of spring water, add a little bit of agave, a pinch of salt, blend it, get a drainer bag or a nut milk bag, whatever you want to call it, and then you drain the milk, and then there you go. And the pulp what's left in the bag, I make like with cookies or put them in cakes and stuff like that.
Oh, you was being real serious, like from scratch. Wow.
Right. That's why for me, that's why I think that for me, I've had a decent journey, because everything what grows from the earth, I kind of made something from it. That's
amazing. That is amazing. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised that you actually take the time out to create everything that you need.
Like for the milk instance, that takes about 2 minutes. I don't put any preservatives in there, so that milk will probably last about 5 days. But that's enough for me. Like, I have cereal like once a day. That's it. For 5 days. That's good enough.
That is so self-sufficient. That is so good. I'm very pleasantly surprised. So what do you eat mostly in regards to, because I know you do a lot of baking. I know I've seen quite a few of your recipes that you share, baking. What kind of what are your like staple ingredients that you buy like weekly without fail? You need to have these items in your home.
Understand that pulses, chickpeas, lentils, kidney beans, those things have to, that's an everyday thing that has to be in my house. I buy in stuff, I buy in bulk. So pulses can have up to a long time. Now, because they're like, obviously like dried food, nothing like that. So like vegetables, kale, spinach, aubergines, cauliflowers, things like that. But the main thing I try and do, what makes it easy for me, have a board. So I might have, one week I might say I'm going to make a shepherd's pie. So I'll make a vegan version of a shepherd's pie. So I'll make meals of anything what I had when I wasn't vegan. I find an alternative version to that.
Yeah. That is so useful too.
So when I know the meals what I'm having that week, I'm not just going there and just buying random vegan stuff where it ends up being like £100. I know what I'm buying, so it's easier. So I might make a chickpea curry. I still have hard food like ackee, but obviously without the saltfish. And callaloo. I don't really eat rice really. I have like quinoa and stuff like that. And that's another form of protein as well, quinoa.
That is, okay. Well, now that's decent.
And for example, chickpeas, I can make an alternative to like chickpea tuna. You can make it, so you can make a version to like that. I've made vegan scrambled egg kind of thing, but with chickpea flour. So you can, like there's recipes for everything, and once you try this, when you hear something like that, alternative like to chickpea tuna, you might think that don't taste like tuna. But people who are not vegan, who have tried it, they've said, I don't know how to do it. It's like there's recipes for everything, and everything needs seasoning. That's a big thing. I think people might think it tastes bland or whatever, but seasoning, you still season your food like you would chicken. Seasoning is a big part of making food taste nice. So that doesn't change.
Oh wow! So which dish have you swapped out that you have as a vegan dish that tastes is like the most likeliest in like probably texture and smell and taste? Which dish would you think you've kind of got that bang on? Like it almost tastes like the actual thing, or
I would say for me, like it's probably like an English tradition dish, but like a shepherd's pie. You wouldn't taste that and think, you know what, that's not. They wouldn't think that's vegan. That was one of my, like, if I had people come around for dinner, that would probably be like a dish. Or sometimes I have friends that want to come around and try a proper, like, I'm not saying that's not a proper vegan dish, but what I know, like a lot of chickpea curries I have, to be honest. A lot of chickpea curries, soups, just literally anything I find, like even like mushrooms. I coat them up like Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I do that with the mushrooms. Stuff like that. So
I have a quick question, and I know I'm asking all the questions, but I have another one that's just popped in my head. Okay, so I follow quite a few vegan kind of IG Instagram pages, and it's just for inspiration on like what recipes to put together that are just quick and easy. And I saw something called cauliflower rice. Do you know what that is? And how? Because so my thing is, it's just like, I understand that they with the cauliflower, they put like the batter on it, like you can put a batter on chicken. So you can, I know we can do that. But then I was just like, cauliflower rice, like, please give me some insight onto what that is and how it works.
I've had that like once, like, see, like the beginning of my journey, somebody bought me a vegetarian cookbook, and that was one of the dishes on there. Like, somewhere on the page, I have to show you one of the days, but literally, I've already made it once, and I thought to myself, to be honest, if I'm going to eat cauliflower rice, I might as well just eat quinoa or rice anyway. It is literally just cauliflower. But the recipe what I had was literally like, kind of just blended it in a blender, and it broke down to like little pieces of rice. That's literally what it kind of was for me. That was the recipe I had, but
So
stuff like that.
So
like-
it basically looks like couscous.
Yeah, similar to like that. So
Oh
really,
my God. You know, I sat there picking my brain like cauliflower. Somebody make this make sense, yeah.
like, so
Oh.
I know there's some recipes out there that are actually mad. Like I seen like cauliflower steak, and I thought, what is that? But it's just like a grilled cauliflower. That's not cauliflower steak to me.
Okay, now I feel like sometimes people just throw fancy words on stuff just for marketing and advertising. You know, like, hey, this sounds amazing. It must be good. I think that's what that cauliflower steak. That is a reach.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that in a restaurant, to be honest with you.
Cauliflower steak. I mean, I'd try it. I'd definitely be open to trying it. But cauliflower steak, yeah. Well, okay. Okay, so when it comes to because I know you're an alkaline vegan, is there what is the difference between an alkaline vegan and a normal vegan?
Okay, when I become vegan, I realised there's so many different realms you can go into. So like a vegan is literally anybody what don't eat things with blood or bones, basically.
Okay.
Because a vegan, you don't have to be healthy to be vegan. You can eat vegan junk. They just don't want to eat animals. That's vegan. And then you might have like a plant-based, where plant-based might just eat fresh food from like the earth, anything what comes from the earth, not so much processed foods. And then you have alkaline foods. I would like to say I'm a free spirit vegan. Where when I say that, I mean like I might do a month alkaline foods only, and then I might do a month where I might fast, little things like that. But alkaline vegan is basically only foods that are alkaline foods and not foods that are acidic. But when you go into, if you were to research now what alkaline foods, you'll see many foods what might be on one list might not be on the other. I follow a guy called Dr. Sebi.
I have heard of him and his wonderful work. And he talks a lot about that.
So that was one of my first introduction to alkaline veganism. And basically it's food that Dr. Sebi has a Dr. Sebi list food this way. It might be like chickpeas, butternut squash, stuff like that are alkaline foods. Whereas broccoli might be acidic. And his theory or what he believed in was that no disease or mucus can live in an alkaline state. So your body is meant to be between pH level of, don't quote me, but between 7.4 and 7.8. If your body's in between those pH levels, it's hard for disease to live in that state. So that was when I first went vegan, that was probably one of the first things I did for a few months. And to be honest, I felt great. But I still felt at the time sometimes I was limiting myself. If you're alkaline vegan, one, you can't eat nowhere with your friends. Nowhere you can go out to eat. You have to cook home cooked meals because there's no maybe in London there might be one restaurant here and there, but in Birmingham, so if you want to socially disconnect from your friends and people, alkaline vegan is that. So for me, I still want to go out and eat what I'm eating within vegan. So I do dabble with the alkaline stuff now and again, but it is a good thing. It's a good thing to look into. That was a good start for me to cook healthy, even like with the oils. I never like olive oil, coconut oil. They're not good to cook in a high temperature. So to cook certain oils, I cook with avocado oils.
Is that expensive, avocado oil? Because I don't even see that in the store. Like I use coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil, but then sunflower oil when I'm frying plantain, because I tried it with the coconut oil. It wasn't the same.
You know what? Avocado oil is the big oil and it is expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. But for me, I tell myself sometimes, can you put a price on?
Right.
But for me, like, you have certain people, everybody's got a thing where they might spend a lot of money on. Food is my I don't mind spending money on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the whole alkaline thing. Like they don't use no microwaves. I don't want to microwave myself neither.
That's good.
And that helped me learn about making my own milks. So even though I'm not always alkaline, a lot of my foods are alkaline sometimes because I still make my own milks. I still follow a lot of things on there, but I like to be more open and try other foods as well.
No, that's good. Okay, so another one of my questions, I think you've kind of answered it. Like, do you ever smell? No, you haven't answered it actually. Do you ever smell? So you go to the restaurant with your friends. Everybody orders their own food, and then somebody's ordered, a particular meat, and they're sitting right next to you. Is that hard? Like, even to now, I know it's a mental thing, but do you ever smell it and be like, I can appreciate the smell alone, or do you kind of just reject the whole thing, or like how do you feel?
One thing I'll never do, I'm never gonna lie and be like, the smell of it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. Obviously, I can appreciate a good dish. If something looks nice, I can appreciate it. Yeah. Do I think, I want some of that? No, because I enjoy the food. If I didn't enjoy what I was eating, then I wouldn't. I don't know if I could do the journey, because you have to enjoy your food, what you eat. I enjoy what I eat, and so I'm happy with the food I have. I didn't grow up vegan, so I would never look at somebody like, why are you ordering that? Yeah. Because I've only been vegan 5 years, so anybody can eat what they want. It doesn't bother me. My only bad experience I had, I think it was the first 3 weeks I gave up meat, and we went to a restaurant, and the food, they didn't have no vegan options for me whatsoever. So I literally had chips. Everybody around was eating chicken wings. That was the only hard time for me. But other than that, no, like I'm cool with it.
So, do you have, like, apart from that moment, do you have any other kind of challenging experience in regards to your transition? Like, what has been the most challenging for you during this whole transition and process?
The hardest thing for me has been eating at family functions.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I'll start off with the restaurants. It's got a lot better now, but in the beginning, there was no vegan restaurants in Birmingham. None. So they've always catered for vegetarians, but not vegan. Yeah. And then, so that was a struggle in the beginning. And even like, I had experience the other day, I went out for a birthday meal, and I asked the waiter, is this vegan? And he goes, no, because it has flour. But flour is not vegan. But so it's difficult now because the waiters and the chefs, they don't know what's vegan and what's not. So that makes it harder for you to order your food if they don't know what it is. For them to do that flour is not vegan, then we have an issue because you don't know what you're giving to me. But as time gone on, there's been a lot more vegan restaurants out, or people cater to vegans more. Family functions are
Listen,
terrible.
No, I'm literally trying to think about it now. And I'm just like, Christmas, birthdays, when everybody's got the barbecue on and there is some amazing food on that barbecue, hunty. And I'm just like, I'd really be looking at, okay, you're going to throw some vegetables on there, throw them on the barbie, like, bring me put some sauce on it too.
Like, for example, a barbecue, they might be like, do you mind me putting your food on with the burgers, which contaminates the food anyway. So stuff like that is the issue. Or I've been to family function like a christening, and then the only thing I had for me was rice and salad. Or you realise some people put butter in their rice. So it gets tricky sometimes. Obviously, like we've always had like certain, like say like Rastas in our family, or like people who are like idle and stuff like that. But but that's not always the case. There's sometimes there's actually nothing for you there. As time's gone on, it's getting better,
Yeah.
but it's still hard to eat out sometimes. So sometimes I do eat before I go out.
I was gonna say I'd definitely be one of those people that eat before I go and then have food in my bag so I can nibble on something when I get there.
Yeah, it does get hard sometimes. Even like having a daughter, my daughter's plant-based, and like she got invited to a McDonald's party, so we literally had to make vegan nuggets for her.
Oh.
And then we bought the Happy Meal box, whatever, and then we put the food in the box for her.
That is so cool.
So stuff like that we have to do. But
Yeah.
other than that, she don't know any difference. So to her, this is just normal life.
Yeah.
But it does get tricky sometimes, but
I can imagine.
it's getting better slowly.
Oh, that's good. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm all out of questions. I feel like this discussion has been quite insightful, to be fair. One more. So, what are your 3 favorite dishes to make?
I do like a lot of hard food. So I have like ackee, callaloo, and green banana, breadfruit, stuff like that. Or I might have, if it's not a chickpea curry, I might have vegan, make a lot of pastas, pasta bakes, vegan pasta bakes, use like vegan cheese and stuff like that. Anything with good seasoning. But my go-to dish will probably be my hard food dishes or like chickpea curries. So yeah, we like sometimes have like vegan burritos we make from scratch. But yeah, that's pretty like my go-to dishes.
That is so cool. No, I've definitely learned a lot, and I think I definitely have been inspired to try out some more recipes and not be lazy with it. So I definitely feel like I want to try some more stuff out. I did buy chickpeas the other day for no reason. Maybe I knew this conversation was coming, so I was like, I'm gonna need to switch it up with my cauliflower rice.
Like there's alternatives for everything, and I would say as well, it's not that expensive if you know what to buy. The biggest issue for people want to try vegan foods, you might buy everything or like processed foods. That becomes expensive. But if you know what you're making, and if you know what you're making, it's a lot easier. So you go to the shops and you know what you're buying.
Yeah.
So if you go to Aldi, a vegan shopping list might be £40 for the week. Go Sainsbury's or Morrison's, it might be 60.
Yeah.
Or going to like wholesalers, buying certain things in bulk. But everything I buy, I make sure it don't get wasted. So if I buy fruit and I know I'm not going to eat it, I would either I'll make ice loaves out of them, or I just freeze them and have like frozen fruits. So when I do have smoothies or bananas, I make ice creams with them as well if I don't eat them. So everything I make sure I don't waste food.
That is incredibly sustainable, and that is so good.
So literally
Evaluate my whole eating life. No, oh my goodness. Right? No, for sure. Waste of fun.
Sorry, I'm at the stage where now I'm trying to grow a lot of veg at home as well. So it's easier. Like I've already did like herbs, tomatoes, and courgettes at the moment. But as time goes on, I will start to grow more. So then less I have to go out and shop in the garden.
Wow. No, that's definitely something to admire, to be fair, because majority of us do have gardens, and we just about sit in there in like a nice sunny afternoon. So to be able to like plant your own things and grow them, it's definitely going to save money, and it's sustainable. That is really good. I could keep talking. I still want to talk about the cauliflower rice, but I'm going to bring this show to a close. Andre, thank you so much for sharing some light and some insight on veganism, alkaline vegan. If you like what you're hearing, do not forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts or some further questions, and thank you for joining.